Hello, welcome to Lemon Reviews, an extension of Lemon Studios. I am the Lemon himself, Zeke Lemon, and today I am reviewing Spider-Man Miles Morales for PS5 or the PS4, depending on what console you have. I played it on the PS4. This is a continuation of the Spider-Man 2018 game, but this time you get to play as Miles Morales. We played him as Miles in the 2018 version, but now he is officially a Spider-Man, because now there are two of them, and with Peter going off on vacation, Miles has to look over New York City, and he's on his own for the first time. And with that, that's really all you need to know. After that, the story really kicks off. Again, a really good storyline overall. Not as good as the first one, but hey, it's pretty tough to top that first game story mode. One thing I will say, though, about me in general, I love the game. I do. I enjoyed this game. I enjoyed the Spider-Man 2018 game. I think the Spider-Man 2018 game is a masterpiece. But one thing with me as a gamer, and I'm not that much of a gamer, you're probably going to find a much better game review on this game from an actual gamer than you are from me. I'm just speaking as a Spider-Man fan overall. I'm not a fan of DLCs. I'm just not. I played the main story, and then I watched the people who did pay the DLC. If you did, and you like paying DLCs, that's all for you, but they're not for me. And essentially, after playing this game, I felt like I just paid for the most expensive DLC. This game is very short. I finished this game in a day. It took me 8 hours to beat this whole entire game. Well, the main storyline, not everything that you can do. There's a lot of stuff you can do besides the story arc of it. There is training modules that Peter left all around the city. They're kind of like the Taskmaster stuff in the 2018 version, where you go, you do some challenges, and then there's, a final challenge that you beat, and then you can unlock a suit after that. Just like in the first one, there's crime all around, but in this case, Genki, who is kind of our sidekick in this, he's like our Batman, if you will. He created this app or people can say, hey, I'm having a problem, can Spider-Man come help me? And then Spider-Man comes and helps them. That's a pretty cool addition to it. J. Jonah Jameson's back as well. There's another podcast on there. It's not as good as the J. Jonah one, but it's nice to see something positive. Someone liking Spider-Man on this. What I really like about this game as well, though, is that it's really a simple story. And what kind of makes me like Miles even more. Like, 2018 was a hell of a year for Miles Morales appearing in this game, where people were like, oh, Miles Morales is actually pretty cool. And then the anime version Into the Spider-Verse, that really blew the socks off of everyone. And that suit's also in the game, and those mechanics are really cool. You can also have the anime features to it. And like, even when he's fighting all that, it's just like in the Spider-Verse. It's pretty cool. I didn't use it that much. I used it for a little bit. It's like, as soon as you do it, you're like, okay. But anyway, the story of it. What I feel like Into the Spider-Verse failed to do is what this game did. And that's earning the respect of New York for the Miles Morales Spider-Man. Throughout the whole entire game, Miles is trying to prove himself, not just to himself, but also to New York, that, hey, I'm Spider-Man too. I'm just as good, if not better, than the Peter Parker one. Or just Spider-Man, for those who don't know who Peter Parker is, in the game anyway. And I really enjoyed that aspect of it, because, there's all these things of like, hey, you're going to add the other Spider-Man to this as well? Like, oh, Miles shows up, and then like, oh, I was kind of hoping for the other guy. Like all these different things. He's constantly trying to earn the respect of New York, and he's slowly getting to that throughout the whole entire story. I really enjoyed that aspect of it. Now, let's get into what the main thing is about what people are wanting to do, and that is the gameplay. The gameplay is where everyone is wanting to be, because, it's a video game. And it's good. It's good. It flows just as well as it did in 2018. But what I have a problem with it is that I don't feel vulnerable playing as Miles. And let me explain that a little further. When I'm playing as Peter, I actually have a worry that I might die, and I might just have to start over. As Miles, he's way too OP. He's basically a god in this game, because he has the electricity, and he can turn invisible. Those are two aspects that we all knew was going to happen in this game. It's in the trailers, I believe, but it's also, you know, in Spider-Verse and, you know, Miles Morales lore, if you will, that he can turn invisible and he has electricity. With those two aspects, I did not feel any danger to him whatsoever. Because anytime I got into trouble with some villains, and that, you know, there's that big wave of villains that come in, you're like, crap, this is a lot, let me just turn invisible real quick and I'll go hide, wait for them to calm down, and then I'll stealth kill all of them. Or, you know, I'll be fighting them, I'll get the electric charge, I use my electricity, and then, you know, most of them are dead. Like, it was just a very easy game to beat. It was very, very easy. I never felt any trouble whatsoever as I was playing. Also, Miles is the only playable character. I kind of wish there is a lot of characters they could have branched out to, and we could have got different aspects to it. But again, this is basically a very expensive DLC, and it's just a very short game. The game is only $50. My dumb self was getting on the PS4. I was like, okay, they made it 50 because, you know, hey, it's mainly for the PS5. And I believe it shows a little bit. I haven't seen any gameplay from the PS5. But on the PS4, not just I had this problem, but other people had this problems with it too, is that there are some really bad glitches in it where you're just Miles' head, and that Miles doesn't show up until he's touched in the cutaway scene. That's only really towards the end, though. For the most part, it's good, but those two are really big standouts of it. The web swinging is also amazing as well. I like the way he's swinging, too. Like, as Peter is swinging, it's more, you know, in control because, you know, he's more experienced and all that. Miles is just getting used to it. It's like if a kid was swinging his web swinging throughout New York City. Like, it looks like that. Like, it looks so imperfect that it's perfect, if that makes any sense to you as well. So yeah, overall, I really enjoy the game. It's just way too short. I feel like it's a very, very expensive DLC. On the lemon scale, if I didn't like it, it's a sour lemon. If I didn't like it, but there's some positive to it, expired store-bought. If I liked it, but there's some problems, store-bought. If I enjoyed it, lemonade. If I really liked it with some minor problems, it's a freshly squeezed lemonade. And if it's absolutely perfect, 10 out of 10, it's a masterpiece. It is a strawberry lemonade because that's the best kind of lemonade. This game is a lemonade because it's just simply too short. And I honestly don't have a desire to do the extra stuff. Like with the 2018 Spider-Man, I wanted to finish out everything because I feel like there was so much more to do. I was tempted to get the DLCs, but I did not. I watched them though. With this, I'm like, yeah, I get a new suit. I get to swing around in that suit. That's cool. This really feels like kind of like what Last of Us did, where they had that first game and it was great, and then they had a DLC, the Left Behind, on it. And then the sequel came. I feel like that's what they're doing with this because there's some after credit scenes in this that hint at the sequel, Spider-Man or Spider-Man, because I'm assuming we're gonna be both Miles and Peter in that game as well. So yeah, it is a lemonade, and on the scale of trash, rent, or buy for this game, I would say rent because again, you could beat this story in about 8 hours. Just get it early on Redbox, spend $2 instead of $50. You beat the story, you played it, cool. Move on to the next one. So yeah, that's it for me, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed this review. Have y'all played Spider-Man Miles Morales? What did y'all think about it? What was y'all's favorite part? What was y'all's favorite level? Comment below, let me know. So yes, in the comments section, if you go, be warned. I am open to spoiler discussions in the comments. Just if you haven't played it and you want to avoid spoilers just after the video, don't go to comments. So yeah, I will see y'all here next time at Lemon Studios.